After averaging 30 points over his last 3 games, Joel Embiid was absent from the 76ers lineup last night due to an illness. Paul George more than made up for him with a season-high 39 points in a 153-131 victory over the Wizards. Go back to Embiid, though, and him being out. Prior to the game, Embiid quote-tweeted a reporter saying, "Must be an April Fool's joke. Played against Miami in the same conditions, and I'm playing tonight." He followed that up a few hours later with a tweet of his own saying, "Guess they won't let me play basketball." Okay, with a lot of exclamation points there. So now, obviously, Embiid has had some issues with being out. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Stephen A.
Before you ask your question, we get into this subject. I love me some Joel Embiid, not just as a player, but a person. Really good guy. Stop clapping back and paying attention to reporters, especially since every time you do something like that, you end up getting hurt again. Injuries is the only thing we can question about Joel Embiid, his availability. The brother is a stud, a superstar, and a preeminent big man, one of the best that we've ever seen in this game. When he's 80%, let alone 100%. But your health is an issue throughout your entire career. Stop clapping back at guys when it comes to your availability, because you don't even know when you're going to be available half the time because of your injuries. That's all, Joel. Stop doing that. Just stop.
So
go ahead.
In terms of that, him not even knowing when he's going to be available, that's basically what he was saying yesterday when the Sixers said he was not going to play against the Wizards. So the question now is, should we not only blame players, but maybe organizations in terms of load management, that they're doing the organizing of the load management, not necessarily the individual? Wendy?
Okay, well, this is two different conversations, because one conversation is what you're asking about load management, and one is about Joel Embiid. And I have to say,
right,
if I was Joel Embiid, I would be upset I wasn't playing too, because they were playing the Wizards last night. And right now, if you're an offensive player in the NBA and you see a game with the Wizards, you see a chance to set records. And congrats to Paul George. He had 39 last night. They shot 62%. And they were probably upset they didn't shoot 70%. So I'm just going to say right off the bat, I don't blame Joel Embiid being like, I don't get to play against the Wizards. Everybody's setting records. In this particular case, what Daryl Morey told the Philly Inquirer was that Joel didn't come to shoot around because he was ill. And so they just said, well, you're not going to play. This is a game against the Wizards. We're not going to mess around. And that's why they ruled him out. And also, the NBA has all these rules right now, Shay, about talking about player availability, and they've been fined before, so they have to just make sure that they say that Embiid is out because they don't want any shenanigans with the betting market. So I think they were just doing what was right. Okay, now big red line. Now you want to talk about the overall about player health. One of the most interesting things going on in the league at this time of the year is the inactive list. The inactive list is a daily piece of drama, because one of the big things that overhangs the NBA right now is tanking. And I think maybe the average person doesn't understand what tanking means. Tanking is done largely on the inactive list, or largely on putting a player on the bench. It's not done on the court. Nobody is saying that a player is out there purposely not playing hard, even though that's insinuation. Right. It's done by the inactive list, okay? And in some cases, I will not call anybody out because I think these are good people doing things they have to do. Every single night, there's laughable things that happen in the NBA. Guys like who make like 10 straight shots, who are pulled out of the game, okay? But when you talk about load management, it very rarely is the player who comes, Shay, and says, my knee is sore or I'm feeling a little bit tired, don't play. That does totally happen. True. But most of the time, load management is done by the sports science groups and the trainers. It is not done by the player. So that is absolutely the case, especially with Joel Embiid.
Wendy's absolutely right. The players get a bad rap a lot of times when it comes to load management, because it's not them, it's the teams, it's the owners trying to protect their investment. You know, hiring guys that are analytics, that are heavy on analytics and that data and that all that kind of stuff, and they're deducing that this is the best way to protect the investment and to validate it. They're speaking the language of the owners, making the owners think they know more basketball than they actually do. The owners love it. They hire them. They hire their teams, and this is how it goes. Exactly how Wendy just just knocked it down. Just let us know. Having said all of that, let's say this about the Philadelphia 76ers before we end. Some interesting stats. Number one, you got a guy like Tyrese Maxey. Since the All-Star, his All-Star starter, ranked for the season, ranks first in the NBA in minutes per game, fourth in scoring, third in steals. Joel Embiid, interesting stat. Are you ready for this? This guy, since Christmas Day, Joel Embiid, ranks third in the NBA in scoring. 29.8 points per game on 52% shooting from the field and 40% from three, only behind Luka and SGA. And Paul George in the 4 games since his 25-game suspension, the 4 games that he's been back, is averaging 28 points on 52% shooting and 43% from three. The Philadelphia 76ers could be a threat, if only for one thing, that these 3 guys that I just mentioned hadn't only played 19 games together. That's the issue in Philadelphia. It ain't their talent. It's their durability and their availability, which is damn near non-existent. Hopefully they'll get that together.
Yeah, and maybe the rest last night will help Joel Embiid get better because he's been sick now for a couple of days and a couple of games.
Sixers, he scored 39 yesterday, his highest total as a Sixer. Is this a team that you think could be one that could surprise someone in round 1 of the NBA?
They're on my list of, I think in the East, there's a potential Dragon Slayer at the bottom of the bracket. They're one of them. Charlotte's one of them. Don't sleep on that team. And Atlanta, which, by the way, is climbing the ladder right now late in the year, is another. One of them is, and if I'm the Knicks and I'm looking at the standings because the Knicks aren't playing great basketball right now, this is one team with their backcourt I'd want to avoid.
The Sixers right now are on a flat-footed tie with Toronto in that 6-7. And the difference there is a doozy, obviously. One, you're in the play-in, and the other one, you are comfortably into the playoffs. Are you buying the Sixers as a team that could win a playoff round?
Yeah, I mean, they've got the top-end talent where you have to take them seriously as a threat. So, sure, I'll buy that, but not based on anything that they did against the terrible tanking Lizards last night. Lizards with an L because there are no W's in Washington.
Okay, so let me get back to the Celtics.
I am stealing that.
We showed you a full highlight earlier this morning, and the Celtics is dominating Miami. You had Jason Tatum with a triple-double. You had Jaylen Brown with 43 points. And so I'll ask the question exactly as I did earlier today to you, Tim. If these guys are going to play like this, can anybody in the East beat them?
They're the clear-cut favorites, and not only if they play like this, but if Jason Tatum continues to get better, if he continues to round his way into form as he returns from a 10-month Achilles rehab. This is a remarkable story. Star power, system, proven champions, and not peaking yet.
Let me put the full screen up here just because I love seeing these names. So if I could see C19 up there, Matt. They're going for the 40 points and a 25-point triple-double in the same game. They had never done it before. The last Celtic duo to do it, Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. So we're talking about, I mean, the all-time greats, right? The greatest of the great. And that's where we are. And to his point, Jason Tatum is still playing his way into form. I keep saying it. Knicks fans come up to me in the street.